What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Noob. So, you know me as the one who loves isekai stories because I'm a whore for it. But there's a subgenre of a series that I don't think gets enough love, and I found a manga that's in that subsection that I want to talk about. The subsection that I'm talking about is the slow life after being an adventurer, and I'm talking all types of adventures. You know, people from the Adventurers Guild, the hero, the hero's party, any of those who have done what they wanted to do and then retired. It's the simple life that I don't think gets enough talked about in mangas. Recently, I found a new one that's just started, and I'm so far enjoying it, and I want to share it with you. Now, this is one of those very long-ass titles. There is no way I'm going to be able to pronounce this without butchering it, so if you want the title, it is right here. As you can see, Japan is trying to kill us all with these long-ass titles. I could not find an English title for it yet, so you'll have to go with this. Your main character of this story is a mercenary known by the name of Ordol. Now, Ordol, he was hired by a kingdom because he is known as the war demon. Basically, you hire him as a mercenary and he will destroy your enemy. Unfortunately, he's very good at his job. So good that after helping the king and nobles defeat their enemies, it became apparent that the nobles wanted to get rid of him. So one night after partying, he's trying to chill out and sleep, he wakes up to find a group of cloaked people. It seems these cloaked people are the nobles who are here to assassinate him. Apparently, even the king is tired of his upstart because now the people are calling for him and not for the nobles. And we all know that nobles are lazy pieces of shit in these stories. Well, Odoro decides that, you know what? I've done my job. I don't need this bullshit. Fine. You've killed me. So he literally lights his house on fire and fakes his own death. Luckily for him, people believe he died, so he cuts his hair short, he shaves his beard, and he decides, I'm going to go home to my home village. Well, on his way there, he notices that there's a pack of monster wolves that are attacking someone. So, being the hero adventurer that he is, he defeats these monsters, and he's introduced to this little girl. Now, the thing about this little girl is, not only is she not scared by him, her hair is the exact same silver color as his. The thing that the little girl does that really kind of throws Ordol off is she looks at him and calls him Ordol Papa and then hugs him. Yes, this little 5-year-old girl believes that this mercenary is her father. Meet Maria. Maria is a 5-year-old little silver-haired girl who has claimed that Ordol is her father, and, well, she is just nothing but adopt and protect. See, Ordol takes her back to the village with him because they weren't that very far away, and he's demanding from the village chief, who is this kid? What is she doing? Why is she pretending to be my daughter? Now, the village chief is very confused. He's like, well, we've never had this girl here. I don't know who she is. But she probably is your kid because, look, she has the same color hair. Apparently in this world, silver hair is very unique, and he's one of the very few, so, you know, it's kind of obvious. But Ordol does not believe it. In fact, when he's telling the village chief that he doesn't believe that he has any kids, the village chief is like, well, you're a guy, right? Haven't you hooked up with a few women while you've been out and about? This is where a bit of comedy comes in because Ordol is not the brightest individual in the world. He's street smart, but in certain places he's dumb. And this is one of them. While talking to the village chief, he goes, well, of course I've been with women, but the next morning, they did not have bellies, so of course they weren't pregnant. Now, the village chief and I are thinking the exact same thing. God, you're a dumb motherfucker. The village chief politely takes it upon himself to explain to Ordol that when women are carrying children, it takes 10 months for the child to be born. And this shocks Ordol. See, now that it's been determined that this child may be his, you know, Ordol is trying to figure out who's your mom, where'd you come from, why is she not here, blah, 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 blah. The village chief, you know, being the kind old man he is, he's like, look, you don't have to worry about her. Since you aren't 100% sure, we will take her, we'll put her in our orphanage, and we'll take care of her. Now, you see, Ordol was an orphan himself. So when he hears these words coming out of the village chief's mouth, he decides, no, I don't want this. I don't want a child that could be mine to be raised like I was. So he says, I'm going to take this child and I'm going to raise her like the father she thinks I am. Now, I love this story because Ordol was a very, demonic-looking mercenary, but now that he has a daughter and spending time with her, he becomes one of those overprotective, doting parents. I mean, he's always keeping an eye on her, telling her not to run fast. When it comes to picking up dishes, he helps her take most of it. But the change in his personality is not just only with how he takes care of his daughter. No. See, when he's there and he's looking around the village, he comes to realize something. This village is not as well off as I thought it was. There's a shortage of food, there's not very much protection from monsters, and the children aren't very educated. So he takes it upon himself to start improving the village. The first thing, food. He knows about some wild cattle that are out in the forest. He decides to go capture some of them, bring them back. This gives them cheese, meat, leather, bones, all this stuff, which is already, a big improvement on the village. The next part is the defense of the village. Not only does he build a giant wall, he also takes care of some of the monsters, and he also trains people. Now, when it comes to the monster eradication around his village, he is sent out at one point because there is a pack of monster wolves out there, and he decides that he has to deal with them before they come to attack the cattle or the village. When he's out there and he's defeating the monster wolves, he spots a very rare white wolf monster. Now, this monster is very small, but quick and agile, but unfortunately for it cannot defeat Ordol. So Ordol does beat this monster, and I guess he knows how to speak monster or have a skill like that, and he's literally trying to talk to this thing, and he comes to find out that this female wolf is trying to gain strength to get revenge on her family that was killed. Ordol has a bit of a rule, which you do figure out. He does not like to mess with children or orphans. So when he hears this, he decides to take home this passed out wolf, heals it, and says, look, I know you want to get revenge. How about this? You stay with us as a pet, a part of our family, and I will teach you how to fight. Luckily for him, this wolf decides, sure, I will do this as long as I can get power to get revenge. And it is at this point that the name Fen is given to this wolf. And, Fen makes such a great attachment to Mary that it's just adorable. So, Ordol not only gained a daughter, but now he gained pretty much a wolf pet daughter in the process of being here. Now, remember when I said the education part of the story? Well, this is where you get our next character that joins in with us. See, Ordol doesn't really teach. He doesn't have the ability, and no one in the village really can do teaching. So while he's setting up a playground and trying to figure out how he's going to teach children, a knight shows up in his village. See, apparently not everyone thought that Ordol was dead, and this knight is the one who has come searching for him. Meet Elizabeth. See, Elizabeth is a 16-year-old noble girl who had various runs-in with Ordol. Apparently, he was one of the very few people who treated her like a person, not like nobility. So when she would get uppity and try to face him in battle so she could improve her strength, he would kick her ass and literally throw her into water to cool her head down. Somehow, she became very attached to him because of that. So when she heard that he was killed, she couldn't accept it. So she went back to the home village because she was like, if anything, he's going to be either here or I'm going to be here because I need to be here where he was. And luckily for her, she does try to fight him because he's masked and all that, but he defeats her again, and she's like, bing, I knew it. You weren't dead. I am here. I have left everything behind. I've come here for you because you have a promise to keep to me. Apparently, the promise that he kind of forget is at some point during all the training, he promised her that if you can defeat me in training, I will answer anything that you ask me. That includes a question or a promise, and you could tell right off the bat she wants to be the wife of Ordol. So now that she's here, Ordol gets a great idea. You are very educated. I want you to live here and teach the children. And that's what she does. She goes, hell yeah, if I could live here with you, I'll teach children. I don't care. It will prove that I'm a good wife material. So now Ordol has gained a new companion, the ex-female knight, Elizabeth. And she's kind of adorable. I mean, there's a point where he wants to go out and slay like a viper or something. And he says, hey, let's go on out. And she goes, is it a date? And she's very happy-go-lucky. I love this knight. Now, the thing about this story is, like I said, it's very simple. The only big major things that happens are usually things that are going to change his outlook on the world. Like there's at one point where everyone comes to realize that Maria is stupidly smart. I mean, like so smart that she's doing work that should be for people that are twice her age. So the village, Elizabeth, even Maria herself convinced Ordal we should move to the capital so I can get a better education. After some debate, he decides, you know what, everyone thinks I'm dead. No one knows my daughter. I might as well do it. So they decide to move back to the capital. And this is where we get the fourth, if you include Fen, daughter of Ordal to join the family. You get to meet Lily. Lily is a saintess, or more importantly, she was the saintess. See, apparently she went against the king, told him he can't do something, and this is the same king that was willing to kill Ordal. So the king and the pope decided, well, we don't need a saint that's going to fight the king, so they sent her off to retire in a special area, but the special mercenaries of the pope were there to kill her. Luckily, Ordal saves her, and now that everyone thinks that she's dead, Ordal decides, hey, why don't you come with us? I will adopt you, and you can have a normal life. Because that's all Lily wants. She just wants to be a normal teenage girl, going out for sweets, walking around, having a life. So now you got Ordal, an ex-knight, an ex-saintess, a daughter, and a wolf, moving to the capital and just having a slow, enjoyable life. Now, like I said, this is just a slow life manga. It is nothing fancy. There's no battling the demon lord. There's no facing off against a demon army. There's no mysterious, solving. Nothing like that. It's just a man who's retired from being a mercenary, raising his daughter, and the various people who join him in life. And I'm sorry, I like stories like this. I just need something refreshing to read, to watch, and all that, and this just fits into the category. Now, what about you, folks? Are you the type of people who like slow, relaxing mangas and animes, or are you more towards the battle-oriented, must-have fighting the demon lord stuff? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, folks, thank you for joining me today. That's the manga I wanted to share with you, and I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!